Hey guys, this is Mako, and we're going to go into some Trinity Prime builds. Now, with Trinity, there are two main build types. There's EV and armor reduction. I'm just going to get rid of my dog for the basics of the build. First up, my melee is the Orthros Prime like before, but I've tweaked it to have this stance. And I'm going to adjust it really quick to... In my head, I have a build. Don't follow my logic, but it does work. So... Don't follow my logic or try to follow it right now, but I'm just going to adjust these things around for my own principle and head so I remember them. And there we go. That's the Orthros Prime build that I usually run lately. It's pretty destructive, as you can tell. Now, Spectra, whatever. Set up with Radiation and Toxin. I'm punching through armor, I'm on shields, and I'm ignoring shields with Toxin. So, pretty fun. Simulor. Why? It is OP. Because it's fun. Haha. Now this is an EV build. What does this do? This, with corrosive projection, reduces 30% armor and is constantly giving you energy via Vampire Link in a huge, fast, quick way. This is what I would call the mid-range. This is where most people end up. And then there's what I call the armor reduction setup. It's pretty destructive. It's pretty fun. Overall, that's the one I tend to use the most, but for just show and tell, let's try out the EV build and show why people tend to like this. This is one I see people try to do, but I haven't seen anybody really go into video to do this exact build. So this is what I call a negative duration Trinity. He's just quickly doing blasts and shredding through enemy. Because Vampire Link takes percentage of their armor or HP and deals damage based on it. So it scales. It's pretty fun. With the Simulor, you can just, just keep shredding the one enemy. But all it does is take out the one. Or it CCs one enemy and deals damage to that one enemy. It's great on some bosses, but most tend to not be affected by it. Now let's switch over to the armor abating version. Abating armor. Oop, no, that's Nova. 1, 2, 3. Now, an abating armor setup normally has 30% passive corrosive reduction on all armors. So that means 30% of the armor of every enemy is just gone automatically. That's a nice little buff. But with abating Link active, that adds 40% on top of that. So the specific enemies you are near and have that link to, they now have 70% armor gone. And if you have a corrosive cold build, you just can quickly destroy that what's left of the armor. And because this deals slash, any flesh base on them, and cold will slow them down, heat burns them, and slash shreds them. So I tend to go with slash and cold because you're already covering your base with slash. Slash and heat cover the same range. And damage 2.0. If we ever change that, then maybe I'll adjust my build, but basically, this is how you run. Abating Link takes most of the damage and throws it back at the enemies. Orthros Prime is constantly shredding enemies, and then you can just have fun with the Simulor. Now, I tend to have fun with this stance because on the final hit, it deals the most damage. And with this Orthros build, you've got a great range, great amount of damage, good status, good crit. Overall, it's a pretty fun weapon. With Prime to Reach, you're having way too much fun. Now, let's go into some basic testing of this. So we're going to look at some of the other weapons I have available and see how they work. Now remember, with Sentinels, the enemies will change and adapt. So you need a weapon with different types. So that's why I have Heat, Magnetic, and Corrosive on the Simulor here. It deals Magnetic, Heat, and Corrosive. I throw a Abating Link up. Enemies are instantly just gone. I find this is the most destructive set because I initially built this for Trinity. It works on the other frames in truth really well, but on Trinity with Abating Link setup, the Simulor really shines. I mean, you can truly see how much it does. And the Orthos doing knockdown and just this nice range. You see I'm hitting that guy through the other guy, right? Corrosive and cold, reduce armor, freeze them, take out shields, slow them down. And with a huge innate slash via Jagged Edge, or even if you had Buzzkill, throw that on. It's a great setup. It's really fun, and it's really destructive. Now let's try to see how this works against these guys. We all hate these guys. Why? Because they're extremely irritating. Now I'm just going to do this because... Let's just do a clear setup of what I would do. Because even Vampire Link, I would still get enough energy back. Oh no, just destroying them with this. Then I do Orthos. And we just shred through them like they're butter. Oh no, I hate that knockdown. Now remember, Abating Link is your lifeline. If that is not active, you will die with this build. Even in EV, you will die. EV is basically spam your blessings. Why? Because that's all you can do, but I find this build tends to keep me alive because the duration setup keeps it up longer. And with the Simulor just AoEing like crazy, it covers your bases. And that's what you really need in endgame, is a Trinity that can cover its bases, cover you. And, you know, not just be cannon fodder or the person in the back that's spamming heal. You want to be an aggressive healer. If you're not an aggressive healer, you're not doing it right, in my opinion. If you can't keep up with the rest, you know, because let's see, I can give myself infinite HP as long as I have energy, as long as I've got HP, I've got energy thanks to Rage. So overall, take that as you will. The Spectre, as you can see, is kind of fun to use. It's a nice laser. That reminds you of the Gamma Core. I tend to use this because it deals radiation blast. And it gets my shields back up. So I'll have this up while I have the Orthos up, if I intended to spam my other parts. But again, look how much shields and HP I have, and these guys are shredding through my shields pretty quick. And that's 1,000 shields. Why? Because I wanted to be a tank. Ha, ha, ha. Now look, Energy Vampire, Abating Link. Hit that guy in the head with my Simulor. Sorry, it was just kind of funny. I don't know, it was like bouncing a basketball off his head. What you doing? Oh, what you doing? Oh no, these guys can be, or I'm sorry, girls can be very irritating when you're trying to do vaults or raids. Or really anything. The big heavy gunners are the main problem, because if you get one there and they're shredding you, or even those stupid guns, you're in trouble. But this, you kind of cover your base and have a lot of fun. At least I do. Well, thanks for watching. I hope it helped everybody.